show is always presented by UTL San Antonio, the official healthcare partners of UTSA Athletics. In the back half hour of the program tonight, we'll visit with Karen Aston and Mia Hammonds among our guests. And we'll hear from UTSA assistant coaches Quentin Thomas and David President. Aston Claunch is at an event tonight elsewhere, and he's going to join us for the first segment via the phone. Aston, good evening. How's things with you tonight?
Hey guys, everything's good. Everything's good. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight. Look forward to being back there in person next week. But no, everything's good.
Tough 2 games, but better play. But still trying to get in the winner's circle. And you made, I think, some pretty good strides this week with the Temple game, and then last night as well.
You know, I said after the game last night, the way we've played the last 2 games. You know, my frustration last night is not in losing those 2 games. It's why haven't we been playing this way, you know, a month before, right? And you know, obviously that's something that later on in the year, later on after the season, we'll look back and figure that part out. But I've been really proud of, obviously, how we've played, you know, over the past 10 days. And we've got 9 more games now, the back half of conference season, to continue to play that way and build off it. And the more we put ourselves in that position, you know, we will get in that winner's circle plenty of times. So, again, really proud of the fight, you know, over the last 80 minutes of basketball. Bye week comes at a good time when you get healthy and, you know, just kind of look back at these last 2 games and then build off what we've done.
You mentioned last night, I think this is a really accurate statement, we're a better team at 0-9 than we were at 0-0. And just the progress of this team, we're seeing it, and that's a good thing now that you have 9 games left, and maybe you can figure out a way to get in the winner's circle and make everybody happy. I think just a win would just change the entire attitude of the team.
Yeah, well, you know, what's funny, too, is, I mean, I say it all the time, Andy, we have great practices. The guys have, I mean, they come in with great spirit. They have great energy. And it's also really important because of the young guys that we're going to, you know, obviously we really want to get back, right? And so, you know, you're finishing out, you know, with these last 9 games trying to make a push, you know, for the conference tournament, but you're also, you know, trying to catapult yourself into 26-27 as well. You know, there's 2 things that need to happen there. So, and yeah, you know, I think, again, just the talk and the progression from the young guys, not just that you see from made shots or things like that. I think just the way that they're handling adversity and learning how to win and grow, you know, that's coming along as well.
You mentioned many times, I think all the way back to the opening press conference when you were hired, about getting guys with great character, and you're seeing that character shine in a moment where things aren't great. The effort and the energy for a team that hasn't won in conference yet, I don't think a lot of teams would be as energetic and as efficient in that category as we've seen the last 2 games for UTSA.
Yeah, listen, I've been fortunate to be a part of some really great teams, but I've also, you know, been a part of some teams that you know, at this part of the year, you know, we're with a little over a month left. You know, we're not competing for the regular season title, and quite frankly, a lot of those teams, like you mentioned, that aren't, they sort of start looking at the next thing. It's easy for those teams to divide and not play their best basketball in February. And I've always prided myself on a coach whose teams play really well in February. You know, you go back to, you know, my time at Nichols and, you know, even as an assistant at Alabama and you know, even last year I thought we played really good ball, you know, where we kind of finished out a losing streak last year and then won 2 of our last 3 and played well at the conference tournament. So, you know, we fully expect to play our best basketball come February, regardless of what the record says right now.
All right, Bob Jai has really played well offensively, but he's turned into a shot blocker, 15 block shots in the last 3 games. Talk about both sides of his offense and defense and how much he's meant to this little surge you've had.
I think he's really just leaned into, you know, the strength of his game, which to me is when he plays with a motor, he can just impact the game in so many different ways without the basketball. You know, and I tell our whole team, I mean, if you just lean into the dirty work and just get lost in playing the game the right way and think about impacting the game with positivity, with your voice, with playing hard, then you'll find yourself out there more, and you'll find yourself even with more individual success. I think Bob's done that at a really high level the last few weeks.
You've mentioned last night on our post-game report this team needs a week off. You got some players that are kind of banged up, and this should get them healthy before the next stretch.
Yeah, and you know, we need to get healthy and shoot. You know, I think our preparation, you know, the last couple of games was really good. Staff did a great job with the plan and executing how to go about that in practice. And you know, we're going to need that again. I mean, we got our hands full playing a really good South Florida team. You know, next Wednesday, right up there at the top of the conference. You know, he comes from that Alabama tree. They're gonna shoot about 100 threes, and they're gonna get up and down. And so, you know, yeah, it's gonna be fun, but we got to get to work and make sure that, you know, we're healthy and prepared right way.
So, do you want to shoot 100 threes with South Florida as well, or are you just going to try to defend their 100 threes?
Well, I mean, listen, we've got to, you know, for us, you know, obviously we haven't shot the ball well this year. I think we've done a better job, especially the last two games, of getting in the paint and scoring and creating contact down there. But, you know, also, man, we took 25 last night. They were all good ones, and every time we get a good one, we need to take it, and we need to continue to trust our work. And when it comes to guarding them, we'll see. I got to dig into more, you know, kind of how we want to guard, and just look at some different things. They're a great team. They're playing really well, but we're playing really well too. You know, we didn't win the last two, but we played probably two of our better games we've played all year. So we're encouraged. We're with that. And excited to challenge ourselves against another really good team.
All right, Austin, enjoy your evening. We'll see you next week and out here for the radio show and, of course, the trip to South Florida coming up as well. Enjoy the night.
Thanks, guys. Birds up. See you next week.
All right, Austin Claunch joining us on remote tonight because he's got an event to go to. In the next segment, we're going to introduce you to the player development and assistant coach Quentin Thomas and David President, one of the UTSA assistant coaches, coming up as well. America's Diamond is giving away a stunning 1-carat natural diamond valued over $5,000. One lucky Roadrunner fan will have the chance to propose to their favorite Roadrunner during the women's basketball game on Valentine's Day. It's the Love My Roadrunner promotion. Enter now at goutsa.com/promotions. And you can enjoy free events every night, every month here at the Rocket La Cantera. Watch parties to concerts and family movie nights. There's something for everyone, and it's all right here in San Antonio. Visit theRocketLaCantera.com to see what's happening next. More of the UTSA Basketball Radio Show coming up on the UTSA Sports Network. And USAA honors the stars who serve in our military as the official military appreciation sponsor of UTSA. We get to know the players each week during our USAA Stars of the Week segment. Tonight, Quentin Thomas is joining us. He is one of UTSA's assistants. Welcome to the show, and thanks for being out here. Player development. Take us through what that entails and what you're trying to do with the players.
Happy to be here. Thank you. Basically, player development is just working on whatever craft of the game they're working on, if it's guards, if it's big men, and just trying to utilize as much that we could get out of the players when we can.
So you get a young player in the program. What are you looking at to see what you need to develop?
Well, sometimes it's something that coach feels like the player needs to work on. Me personally, I love to ask the players what they feel they need to work on, and then just having time to see them on the court, development. It could be something that they're already good at. It could be something that we feel they need to get better at. But it's always a good time on the court just working with the guys.
How often do you get a player, especially a young player, that dominated in high school or at the JUCO level, and fundamentally they may not do it correctly, but because of their talent they were able to do it so well at that level, and you can just tweak something and all of a sudden they can do it against better competition?
For me, that's the best part that I love about it, seeing a player develop and get something that maybe they didn't get at first, or maybe it was difficult for them, and now you see the growth in them. And that happens, different levels from high school to college is something that you're going to have to get better at. But I enjoy that.
You played for Roy Williams at North Carolina and won a national championship. Take us through that time of your life.
It's been a blessing, man. Basketball, everything for me is just been a blessing that God has just allowed me to be a part of different things. Winning national championship in 2005 with Coach Williams, the coaching staff, and the rest of my teammates, who I consider brothers. I never thought about that, just being from Oakland, California, but I just love playing basketball, and it's amazing where it can take you when you just, have a love and a passion for it.
So take us through how it was 20-plus years ago when you got recruited to go to North Carolina, and Roy Williams is in your house in Oakland and saying, come to North Carolina and play with us.
It was very different, very different. But I still remember it like it was yesterday. Coach Williams and the staff came to the house, and my mom cooked for him. We had a great conversation. He came to a game or two. But Coach Williams is great to this day. I'm still close to Coach Williams, the rest of the staff, and everybody else.
You remember what Mom made for him?
She made fried chicken and spaghetti and a little garlic bread.
I'm assuming she cooks that well.
Yeah, she does. She does. My mom doesn't know how to cook for a small amount of people, so it was still leftovers.
That's awesome. Talk about Aston Claunch reaching out to you and the relationship you built with him to join the staff this year.
Man, Coach Claunch has just been a blessing in that, just to give me the opportunity. This is my first time being at this level, at the D1 level. I've coached at high school, coached at JUCO last year with Gary Payton at Alameda back home. But to have this opportunity to be around these guys, this coaching staff, I'm just learning, soaking up a lot of games, so I'm loving it.
What was the time you spent with Gary Payton like?
It was fun. It was fun. Our families grew up together. My mom and his family grew up in the same church, so I was around Gary since I was a kid, but we never really engaged how we engaged last year. So being around him, man, it's a lot of fun, a lot of stories that you hear. He's a character, so he's funny.
When you look at a guy that was that good in the league, a lot of times players that were that good don't want to go into coaching or into development. It's really cool that they're given back and that you can learn from them and their tremendous skill set.
Most definitely, especially for somebody like Gary, who's a Hall of Famer, and he's done it all. He's been at every level. So for the kids to be able to be around him, as well as somebody like myself, and just soak up as much information in the game, it's a blessing.
UTSA plays three freshmen, Mateo and Caden and Dorian, and then Bob Jai's just in his second year. And I've seen Bob just transform right off the page in the year and a half I've watched him play. But I'm starting to see the physicality come in. They're still a little weak, if you will, for this level, but just from November to now, and then we can see the progress in that even going into next year, how much stronger they're going to be. And I think a lot of times athletes don't realize that physicality part of moving up a level.
Most definitely. And I commend the freshmen from Mateo to Dorian to Kate, just coming in and working. Also giving credit to Tyler, our strength coach. And they love to work. They're always in the gym as much as they can be. They love to learn. They're a joy to be around. Those guys are just a joy to be around. And as far as Bob, with his, I call him a Swiss Army knife, because he does everything for us, from rebounding to his effort, and he can score. But he's learning to be a leader right now, I believe.
What do you want to do next? What's your future?
Man, honestly, man, I want to get, hopefully we could get a win.
Yeah,
soon
that'd be
for
good.
The team. That would be good in the near future. But outside of that, man, like, if you would have asked me last year before June, before I moved here, would I be in San Antonio? I wouldn't have known. So like,
wherever it takes you, right?
Whoever God has for me next, man. I'm just excited and thankful for it.
Awesome. Quentin, thanks so much for joining us. All the best, and we'll look forward to seeing more players get developed under your tutelage.
Thank you for having me in.
All right, that's Quentin Thomas, UTSA Player Development Director. We're going to hear from David President, former player and now assistant coach, coming up in just a bit. Whatever you think electrical power, think Absolute Power. They've been in San Antonio's safe, reliable, and trusted electrical provider for over 20 years. From residential to commercial needs, Absolute Power is at your service, ready to help you when you need them. And if you're looking for a new or pre-owned car, look no further than Encira.com. Shop every make and model in one location and get a great low Encira price only at Encira.com. More coming up. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. UTSA Assistant Coach David President joins us. Welcome to the program. How are you doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being out here. Let's turn some stuff up here to get to hear you a little better. Former player. Back in the day, you helped Tim Carter get to an NCAA tournament bid. I know you remember those days quite fondly.
Well, I do remember them. They've been a big part of my journey as a basketball player, as a coach, the experiences that I've gained from that journey. But it just seemed like so long ago, man, getting old.
When you see Tim sitting next to me doing the games, what are some of your memories with him and the relationship you built with him? Usually player-coach relationships last a lifetime.
Absolutely. Coach trusted in me back in 2001 to lead a program as a freshman and gave me an opportunity to play here at UTSA. And so I'm forever indebted to Coach Carter and giving me an opportunity to be a UTSA Roadrunner.
All right, now you got a chance to come back as a coach. You met with Aston, I guess, this summer and got to be part of the staff. And talk about the relationship you've had and have with him.
It's been amazing, Coach giving me, the opportunity to be a part of the place that I come from, and him allowing me to be a voice, within the program. And as we try to get this thing on track, just being a big part of what we're doing.
All right, so you're defensive coordinator according to the bio and everything. Take us through what you're accomplishing, trying to do. The defense is, at times this year, has been really good, and there for a while UTSA was one of the best teams in defensive field goal percentage stops. So take us through that.
From the defensive standpoint, it's all about attention to detail, repping out the small things, and our guys have just bought into how hard you have to play to give yourself a chance to compete, within these games. And so, it's a day by day. We're constantly watching film. We're constantly breaking things down. We're stopping. We're teaching. And so, as we move forward, we continue to develop. As we get closer to March, we hoping that the defensive side of things will give us an opportunity to get into the tournament and compete to get to the NCAA.
You've obviously played man-to-man, but we've seen the 1-3-1 and the 2-3 at times this year. From a coaching standpoint, how and when do you decide which defense you're going to play possession to possession?
Well, it just depends. The other night, UAB did a really good job of getting downhill and touching the paint, a couple possessions. So, at that moment, you have to, make a decision on if we're going to switch things up, try to get them out of rhythm. So as the game goes on, as we meet on the sideline, we make those decisions and we try to switch it up and to give ourselves an opportunity to win defensive possessions.
Yeah, how do you think the game has changed, other than players getting paid now? But other than that, how much has basketball changed since you were a player here?
It's changed a lot, right? From the standpoint where I played here 4 years, right? Like the reason why I'm sitting here now is because of the network. And the people that I was able to meet while I was here for 4 years. And so, these players now, they're online classes. They may be here 2 years, 3 years, hopefully 4 years, but some of them, they jump at the next opportunity. And so just building that foundation, getting a degree from a place like UTSA, as they have these opportunities to move on and better themselves and make more money, I think that kind of hurts, players now, but, we embrace it. You have to embrace it. It is what it is now. And so, we'll continue to follow suit.
Yeah, and I talked about this when we did a halftime interview not too long ago, your future goals, but you like where you're at and you'll worry about where you're going to be down the road, right?
Absolutely. I'm always focused on the now, 10 toes down here. I love it here. My family loves it here. This place has my heart. I think if you cut me open, it'll bleed blue and orange.
All right. The winnings, trying to get a win, trying to break this losing streak. I know as a former player, you're probably thinking if we can just get one. If we can get one, even if there's not one right after it, at least it gets you the momentum, the confidence. It just makes everything so much better.
Absolutely. This is a great league that we're in, great coaches, great programs. And so, we're competing against a lot when it comes to, roster spots and money. But you're also, you're competing against guys that are older. We're playing, 3 freshmen right now that are being thrown in the fire due to some injuries. And so, again, our goal is to get into March, and anything can happen in March. So, it's still a lot of games to be played, still a lot of opportunity, and so we'll keep fighting.
All right. Thanks so much for being out here tonight. All the best. And I'm glad you're here.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's David President, UTSA assistant coach with us on the program this evening. We'll hear from Karen Aston coming up here in just a little bit, and also Mia Hammonds. Save time after the game by ordering Taco Cabana online at tacocabana.com or on the MyTC loyalty app. Sign up for great rewards and exclusive offers only at Taco Cabana. The UTSA basketball radio show rolls on the UTSA Sports Network. special guest there as well.
I do. This is Miss Arley. She's the next great road runner.
Awesome. About 15 years,
yeah,
16 years.
like that.
We got to get her NIL deal as soon as we can, right?
We'll get one. We'll get one.
All right. Yesterday, watching the game, I'm sure that you liked what you saw for most of it, but it's also one of those games where coaches don't get much sleep because of the lead that you lost, but at least the team came back and won. What were your thoughts on yesterday and the overall outcome of that game?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. We played really, really well for 3.5 quarters, and then all of a sudden we kind of stopped playing. You know, I mean, I think that youth showed up a little bit in a sense of we probably thought the game was over with 5-6 minutes left, and the tide turned for them too. You know, so I don't want to just say it was all our fault. I mean, all of a sudden they start making every shot they throw up. We couldn't stop the bleeding, and you know, I was proud that we were able to pull it out, but hopefully it was a lesson learned.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to go through that to learn those lessons, don't you?
You do, and we have a lot of players that haven't been through that. I mean, first of all, we haven't had 20-point leads very often this year, but even when, you know, even if you did, you still have to go through the learning process of it being in league play and that nothing is safe. I mean, I told the players, ironically enough, during the game, because I could sense that we were losing our focus a little bit. I said, look, we had a team in our league that lost a 25-point lead in the third quarter. It's just, you know, everybody's fighting for their lives right now, and we have to understand that.
And with the shot clock and the three-point shot, it doesn't take much to get back in a game.
The three-point shot, it's the great equalizer for sure, because we had the game in hand, but again, they started really just launching it. I think they thought that was their only way to get back in, and we just didn't adjust very well.
I've seen a couple of games now this year, I think 2 or 3 overall, and the more I watch Cheyenne Rowe play, the tough shots that she makes, and a lot yesterday late in shot clock situations, pretty amazing.
It's really amazing. I mean, her composure and ability to understand in very heated moments what's on the shot clock.
Yeah.
And
take her time, too. Don't rush.
Yeah, she doesn't just throw it up there. I mean, she is able to pivot and get herself into – and, you know, a lot of times when the shot clock's down, people don't want to foul. And I think she's smart enough to know that, so she stays in her shot. She doesn't throw up something that has no prayer to get in, to go in. But, yeah, I've been so impressed with her all year long. Just, you know, it was really unfortunate that she got sick. I think we played well enough at the ECU game to win it, but, you know, there's a what-if there had she been healthy. But I love coaching her. We all do.
You got Adara Udo back for the first time. Talk about getting her back and the way she's playing now.
It's nice to have another body, and in particular someone that really has a level of experience that helps our young ones. You know, she's been there and done it. She's been in the heat of the battle, and she's also one of our best communicators, defensively in particular. So it was really nice to have her back. You know, she is limited from a minute perspective, but it is good to have another body for sure. And again, one that has had the understanding of league play.
Yeah, and then Uriah Hardaway playing against her old team. That's always a nice battle, isn't it?
Yeah, I think she was a little nervous. I think she was anxious. Nervous is probably the wrong word, but I think she had some anxiety. You know, just, I mean, when you're with people and you play on a team with them, you do care about them. You know, I mean, it's not. I don't think she left on in a bad situation. You know, it's kind of the same thing with AP. I mean, it wasn't bad feelings at all, and you have feelings about your teammates, and I'm sure that was a little anxious for her.
Do you sometimes try too hard in situations like that?
For sure. And I don't think she really did. I thought she pretty much played within herself, but there was some plays that, you know, you're like she might be trying to do too much but in general, I think she's having to learn, you know, how to get the ball to people and trust the process of what's open, just because she has carried a load for us.
Yeah. Tough travel week last week. You had to go to Memphis a day earlier than planned, play a day earlier than planned, and in a quick situation at an awkward time. Didn't win that game. That was just, and then the bus broke down for a little bit. I guess you had a fire extinguisher issue or something. So kind of a weird trip, huh?
That was the whole story right there. Yeah, everybody on the team could tell that I'm not a fan of fire for sure, because I was like, get off the bus now. It was really comical. But that trip was not the most fun trip in the world. But, you know, I mean, we got to figure out how to fight through some of that. We didn't show up at Memphis at all, and you know, we'll just keep grinding away. I mean, that's what part of this is. is just figuring out how to go the next game and kind of like the next play.
All right, coming up in the next segment, we'll introduce you to Mia Hammonds and give her an opportunity to talk with us, and much more coming up. Hey,
Carly,
fans.
can you say birds up? Can you say birds up?
Do you want to say birds up? I think she's kind of silent. All right, we'll talk about that. Hey, fans, catch the weekly basketball show each week out here at Rocco and Martillo is Chef Jason Dady's restaurant. It's located at 1 Spurs Way. We're back out here again next Thursday night. More coming up. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. thank her for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is your first time, huh?
It is.
Awesome. All right. Well, take us through this this season from your perspective and what's been fun. And obviously, you're winning in fourth place right now in the league. So give us an overview from the season from your point so far.
I think that just as a new team, learning each other, being able to grow together, kind of trying to win another championship, I think it's really fun.
All right, now take us through yesterday because you were playing so great for 3.5 quarters and the bottom fell out for a while, but then you figured out a way to win it, so that was the most important thing.
We definitely had a game plan. We knew what we were supposed to do. As for the fourth quarter, we get tired, you make mistakes. Like, it's nothing you can do about that, but we won at the end of the day.
We were talking with Karen about that a few minutes ago, and that's a learning experience sometimes to finish games. So from a player's perspective, take us through that learning process. What's that like?
I think we just have to listen to our coach. Like, she obviously knows what she's talking about with a lot of experience under her belt. So I think that we just put all our trust into coach and whatever she says at the end of the day. Not just Coach Karen, but like the rest of our coaches. Everybody knows what they're talking about.
All right, you played high school basketball in Steele and stayed around the area. So talk us through your high school days first and what you remember most about that.
High school, that felt like so long ago.
It's going to feel a lot longer down the road, trust me.
High school, I love playing high school for Steele. I love that it was considered San Antonio, so I feel like a San Antonio native, even though some people don't know what Cibolo is. And I was really excited to come to UTSA. I'm glad I get to represent my school, my little city.
Why UTSA? What was that recruiting process like?
I think it was just a family. Kay had been talking to me since my sophomore year of high school. I didn't even think I was good enough to be playing basketball in college, and I feel like she just saw a lot in myself I didn't see. So
Karen, take us through what her development and playing 26 minutes a game right now for you. So how has her game progressed from the day you recruited her to now?
Oh, it's been enormous growth, and I think what people don't really know is how short of a period of time that Mia's been playing basketball. Freshman year, right? Yeah, so not very long. Mm-hmm. Track athlete, you can definitely see that in her. She can run like the wind. But I think just looking at her growth just from last year to this year, and obviously from high school also, there's so much ahead of her, and there's so much more that she's going to learn. And I think this experience this year has been really good for her. It's been a blessing in some ways that she's been forced into situations that maybe she wasn't ready for or didn't think she was going to be in, but it's made her grow. And it's also given her things to look back on when we get to the spring. She's going to have such a better vision of this is what I need to do to take my game to the next level. And I think sometimes players don't understand that unless they get in it and they see it for themselves, because she's very cerebral. Like, she wants to be really good. And I think that the advantage of this year is that she's going to be able to take the spring and the summer, and I think we're going to see a huge takeoff in the next year.
So, Mia, talk about why you made the transition from track to basketball and not playing till 15 and getting a college scholarship. That's pretty good. That's a pretty big deal.
I mean, I love track. I ran track my whole life, but I think once I got to high school, I was just ready for something different. And even though I wasn't planning on sticking with basketball, I think I just kind of fell in love with it. And being a part of a team just means a little bit more than running your individual race for me personally. But
what did you like the most about it? The team aspect for sure, but just you can always get better, I guess, in any sport. USAA serving the military community and their families since 1922. More coming up. One more segment on the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. we talk about Rice when it comes to the convo on Saturday, it's also the Play for K game, and you can donate to the Play for K cause at charity.pledgeit.org/American. And Karen, this is an opportunity for all the schools in the American Conference this weekend in support of the K Yao Foundation, and there's a challenge, I guess, as well for the school that raises the most money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's great that we've decided to do this from a conference perspective, and we talked about it at the conference meetings. And Diane Richardson is kind of our captain, and she kind of proposed that all the head coaches specifically donate a certain amount, and then try to get people to follow suit and all of that. And we all agreed to it. And you know, I'm a huge advocate. Obviously, my mom passed away from cancer, and I also was on the board for the K Yao Foundation when I was at Charlotte. So it's you know, the women's basketball, that's our nonprofit of choice. And you know, Kay was you know, she was a legend in our game and someone that we really looked up to. And you know, I'm appreciative of anybody that gives money to the foundation. It's not just for breast cancer research; it's also for any cancer. And you know, we all understand what kind of fight we're in with that. And I think anything we can do to support it, we should do.
Absolutely. So make sure you go online to do that. Charity.pledgeit.org/American, and you can make your donation to the Play for K game this weekend.
I thought it was pretty cool. I got to say this.
Yeah.
One of my players, Jada Holloman, wrote me today and asked if she could give.
Oh, yeah?
And I thought that was really cool. I haven't had a player do that in a while, but she said, "Is it okay if I do?" I said, "Absolutely. It's absolutely okay."
That's a great thing as well. Okay, you got Rice, and they're the top team in the league right now. What's in store against the Owls?
They are very good. They are very good. The record is legit. You know, they return their starting backcourt. They brought a transfer in from Duke that is added to their backcourt. 4 out of 5 starters are returning. You know, it's just a very seasoned, experienced team that's been through a lot of fires. Had a lot of success really in the last 2 years, and you know, they look like they're on a mission right now, and we're going to have to play extremely well to be able to have a chance to beat them. And yeah, they're very good.
Where did they get a lot of the players back from last year? Are they very
4 out of
very
5.
similar?
Their starting backcourt returns, 4 out of 5 starters, and then their starting 5 player was basically the backup behind the starting front court player. So yeah, they've returned. I think in particular it really makes a difference if your backcourt returns. You know,
point guards, you like those.
Game, and you know, they start their, you know, they return their starting backcourt, and then they added a point guard from Duke to be a backup who probably anywhere else probably could have transferred somewhere and started.
What do they do well? They've won 13 games in a row. They shoot it well?
They shoot.
Well, that helps, doesn't it?
If we guard the three-point line like we did last night, it's going to be a long day on Saturday, which I hope that we don't, because they can really shoot the ball.
So talk about guarding the three-point line without fouling, because you obviously want to give them contested shots, but you certainly don't want to foul the jump shooters.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a challenge because they have a post player that has a tremendous presence in the paint, yet they can spread it out and stretch it, and very balanced team. I mean, that's the best thing I can say is they have a lot of balance. They have a local kid that is their senior leader really at the forward position. She played at Clark. They're very, very solid and cohesive. You know, you can just kind of tell when a team, I mean, our team last year, you could tell had played together for a while and had some chemistry and cohesiveness, and you can just kind of tell when a team has that.
Where do you think your advantages are coming up in this game?
Well, I mean, I think that from a post perspective, you know, obviously their starting 5 player is seasoned and very physical and very good, dominating really on the block, but when and if she were to get in foul trouble or come out, we may have a little bit of an advantage in the paint. You know, defensively, I think we're both really good. I think it's going to be one of those that whoever's on point on defense and doesn't shut down, stop playing for a while, will probably be the team that comes out on top. We're both really sound defensively.
You're in 4th place in the league right now, tied for 4th, I think. So are you ahead of schedule, on schedule? Where would you say you are going with one more game before you go into the second half of the season?
You know, that's hard to say because I don't want to say. I mean, I feel like if I say we're ahead, then that's selling our team short. And this team, they think they can win a championship, and that's great. You know, that's their goal, and they don't want to settle for anything less than that. But on the flip side of that, if we don't show up and play every day, this is one of those leagues this year aside obviously from Rice being undefeated right now, that it looks to me like anybody can beat anybody on a given night, and that has not been the case. I mean, FAU beat South Florida on their home court last week, and they were in last place, 2 years ago. Or last year.
Yep.
I think it's just one of those things where you better show up and play, and Memphis was a good example of us not showing up, and we got what we deserved in that game.
What do you want to see next? Where's the next area of improvement for the team?
Consistent effort, and just showing up and playing through things that go good, things that go bad. Again, we didn't play through good last night, but then there's times when we don't play through bad. And that's just, teams that do that, I think, have a better chance of winning.
Awesome. Thanks so much as always.
Thank you.
We'll see you next Thursday back out here.
Thank you. Birds up.
All right, that's Karen Aston, UTSA head basketball coach. Here's the schedule coming up. The men don't play until next Wednesday night. We'll be in South Florida. We'll be on there at 5:30 San Antonio time for the game from USF. The women play on Saturday. Remember, it's the Play for K game as well, and they take on the top team in the league, the Rice Owls. 12:30 is the start time for Neil Raphael. The tip's at 1 this weekend in the Convocation Center. You can get your tickets at 458 UTSA and online at goutsa.com. Our next basketball radio show is next Thursday night when we get back from Florida, so we'll see you next week. Have a terrific evening, everyone. Thanks to Isa Ortiz for producing the show. Also for Austin Claunch, David President, Quentin Thomas, Karen Aston, and Mia Hammonds. Have a great evening, everyone. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network.
Your flirt.